Welcome students. We're going to do a quick review of multiplying exponents. Let's start with the simple case where we don't have any numbers or leading numbers in front, also known as coefficients. Example 1a, x to the fourth times x to the third. Remember that we know that an exponent just means the base times itself, however many times our power tells us. So x to the fourth is the same as x times x times x times x. We are multiplying this by x to the third, which is the same as x times x times x. Now, remember, we can also take a long line of the same number multiplying itself and convert it back into a base and a power. If I look at this, x times x times x times x times x times x times x tells me my base will be an x, because that's what I see repeating, and my power will be how many times it repeats. In this case, 7 times. This would be your simplified answer. Example B is y to the third times y to the fifth. Again, I'll expand it out so I can see its true meaning. Y to the third is y times itself 3 times. Y to the fifth is y times itself 5 times. Now if I look at this, I can see that I have a base of y because that's what I see repeating. I'll count up how many times it repeats, and I see it is repeating 8 times, so that is my power. Pause the video and try C and D on your own. See, you should have expanded it out, just like I did with our x's and y's. Then we would have seen our base is 3. A common mistake is to change our base. Notice in A and B, when we were working with variables, our x stayed an x and our y stayed a y. A 3 will also just stay a 3 as our base. And then my exponent will be however many times it repeats. D, you should have gotten 5 to the 5th power. Now let's try a little bit harder example. If I were to add coefficients out front, for instance, the 2 and the 3 in example A, it changes how I do it a little bit. I'll still expand it out just like I did in the previous examples. So 2x squared is just 2 times x times x. 3x to the fourth is 3 times x times x times x times x. Now if I look at this, 2 times x times x times 3 times x times x times x times x will represent my final answer. But I want to simplify this back into a base and a power. 2 times 3 can also be simplified to give me 6. Then I realize I have a base of x and a power of 6. This would be my fully simplified answer. Why don't you try B? Pause the video and unpause when you're ready to check. If you expanded it out correctly, you had x times x times x from your x to the third, and x times itself 7 times from your x to the 7th. You multiplied your two coefficients, so 3 times 3 gave us 9. We simplified our x's to give x to the 10th. Now let's try C together. Again, I'll expand it out. Negative 3 x squared is xx times y, and positive 6 times y to the fourth just gives me 4y's. Now as I look to simplify this, first I'll look at my coefficients, or my leading numbers. Negative 3 times 6 will give me negative 18. Don't forget that negative. Then I'll look at x's. I see that I have 2 of them. X times x is just x to the 2nd power. And then if I look at my y's, I have 5 total y's multiplying, so a base of y, a power of 5. Now D might look a little different, but it is the exact same type of problem. Remember that anything raised to the 2nd power I know is just that times itself. So I'm saying it is this whole expression in parentheses times itself. So negative 5x squared y to the third times negative 5 x squared y to the third. From here, I can simplify it further. Negative 5 times x times y times y times y. And again, negative 5 times x times y times y times y. My coefficients, negative 5 and negative 5, will multiply each other to get positive 25. If I look at my x's, I have 2 here and 2 over here, so that's 4 total. Gives me a base of x and a power of 4. For my y's, I see I have 3 from the first and 3 from the second, so I end up with y to the power of 6, and this would be my final answer. Thanks for watching.